and it's got great acceleration. Just have a look. Everything adjusts electronically, and that allows the bike to adapt to the environment. Get on the power. So in terms of riding this bike at night, it's an absolute pleasure, and I just want to give you guys an idea on what it's like to lane split through traffic on this. Switch that off. Good morning, my Snapshot family. Today I got the 2024 Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports ES. I've got the beautiful backdrop of Cape Town, beautiful bike, and I just want to run through some of the features with you. I'm obviously going to explain a lot of the features this bike has. Let me just hit that OK button. Touchscreen is one of them, and there is so much more to dive into with this bike. So much amazing technology, great features to make it easy to ride, and just so much to be excited about. So first off, I'm going to dive into the engine, the power plant, and what the improvements are with this model. So 2024 Adventure Sport ES with the power plant, we've got a 1084cc parallel twin. This model has improved from the previous one. We've got a 7% power increase that is due to a higher compression ratio, new intake design, air intake design, and exhaust as well. So that does give you the power boost that you need, smoother power delivery in your lower rev range all the way into your higher rev range as well. So good to know you've got more power coming from the previous models. It's always an advantage, especially if you're going into off-road terrains, into the mountains like that over there. It just makes it easier to climb. That then is paired with the dual clutch transmission. We've got an automatic and a manual gearbox system over here. It is absolutely amazing technology. First time I'm experiencing it, I didn't know how to feel about it. See these buttons over here? That is so that you can change gears manually if you prefer to override the system and have more control. And the system works smoothly, it works seamlessly, and I think it's a great thing to have, especially if you are going to tour with this bike. You want to sit back, you want to relax. You know, it's good to let the bike do its thing for you, and then you still have the choice to override the system. With that, you've got cruise control. Talking about touring longer roads, you've got the cruise control if you want to have the option. We've got heated grips, mud guards, all these beautiful features that make the riding experience more pleasant. You know, you're protected from the wind, you're on a bike that looks beautiful. They've added all these things. The mud guards obviously serve a purpose, but it looks great, it flows with the bike design. Color scheme also looks truly amazing. Really nice color scheme that stands out. If you're on the long road and you're touring, you feel the wind is bothering you a bit, there is an adjustable screen. All you do is you hit the two clips, slide it out. It's got a few levels that it will click into depending on where you want it to go. Now my thoughts on this is great. I do however feel it could be improved. It serves its purpose, but the design could be improved where you don't have to manually use both your hands, because it means you have to stop on the side of the road, adjust your screen and get moving. It's not the end of the world. It still is an option to adjust the screen, which is great. So that is another great feature over there. So now, since we're on the topic of touring, we all have been in the situation where our phones die, our battery is low, we start to panic. What are we going to do? Carry a power bank. Okay, cool. What if you forget your power bank at home? You are not going to forget your bike anyway. It's always going to be with you. So if you want to charge your phone or anything of that sort, you're camping, you have a device that uses a lighter socket, there is one over here that can... Sorry, I'm not sure who to there. Maybe they like the bike. there is an electrical socket over there that you can charge your devices. Over here we've got a USB port. This is for you to connect your phone to the bike, so this does come with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which is fantastic in my opinion. I'm not going to show you exactly how to connect it here, but it is a feature on the bike. Sorry, it's a bit windy. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me just close the visor. So on that topic, Android Auto, we all know what our phones look like, we all know how to use it. So once your phone connects to the bike, it's not going to be a weird setup for you to figure out, to find navigation, to connect to your music, so that you can listen through your helmet without any disturbances. Your WhatsApp messages, everything, your entire phone layout would pop up on the screen. Navigation, all those sorts of features right here on this beautiful 5.5 inch TFT display screen, which is more than enough for you to see everything you need to know. With your other phones that have very, very small screens, here you can see it's more or less the same, and you will be able to see everything that you need on there, from your messages to your music selection to your navigation, all at the touch of a button. You've got your switch pad over here, very easy to use once you figure it out. It does look like a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but same thing, I'm gonna use my phone as an example. Once you figure out your phone, when we get it the first time, very difficult to use and figure out. Once you find your way around it, you know it like the back of your hand, and it's easy to find the controls that you need. So over here I've got, these are your buttons for the DCT and your gearbox. So once you start it up, let me just show you. Start the bike up, it's in neutral as you can see. This, if I hit this button, it goes into drive. It wouldn't do it with the stand out. You can see that it's indicating stand is out. Hit this button, in drive mode, off you go. Like I said, you do have the option to choose a manual override mode as well. Beautiful sounding bike, as you can hear. It's got a stock exhaust. I don't think it needs to be changed. Listen to that, so grunty. You can hear the punch and like how aggressive it sounds even with the stock exhaust. I wouldn't change it, it's more than enough. But if you do want something louder and gruntier, you do have that choice. Switch that off. Okay, so next up I just want to take a deep dive into the suspension. So this bike does come with the shower, I think that's how you pronounce it, electronically equipped rider adjustment system. So this system is really mind-blowing. Does everything electronically, like it says in the name, and it allows you to adjust for preload and suspension damping. And why that's important on this type of bike is you are going to be touring a lot, and when you tour, you've got various passengers, sorry you've got various luggage on the bike, you've got a passenger, you're carrying weight. And back in the day, you would need to manually adjust the suspension. Now just at the switch of at the press of a button, you'll see I go from tour into gravel mode, my suspension adjusts, my ABS goes off, all the settings I would need to make my gravel road riding experience a lot smoother. So the suspension goes to soft, everything adjusts electronically, and that allows the bike to adapt to the environment, so that the suspension can perform at its best and make it easier for the rider to ride. And like I say, everything is at your fingertips. If you want to adjust it or go through the settings, you've got off-road. You see the power maps also change because it decreases. You don't need all the power, you don't want the bike to step out unnecessarily. You go to your special user modes, you can customize this according to how you want it to be. Most power on user 1 setting, that's for those who want to have fun. You go to user 2, completely different map. Power is at the least. Traction control setting, okay, I adjusted this for gravel also. So I put the traction low just to let the bike, you know, wiggle a bit, have a bit of fun. But it all depends what you prefer. And if you go to tour for road riding experiences, your suspension then adjusts hard at the back, softer in front. It shows you everything you need to know on this little screen right here. Can adjust the screen as well if you want. Very simple. You literally here, it shows you menu drop down. You keep this down, everything pops up, you navigate, riding information. It'll take you back to where you want it to be, back to the normal screen, up, down, enter. So yeah, just spend some time with it. You can figure it out. You want to go back, here's a back button, and you just go all the way back up to riding information, press enter, and you are back at your home screen. So next up, I'm touching on the tires. So this Africa Twin model has gone back to the 19-inch front tire. Why I say gone back, prior models stepped it up, and a lot of bikes in the adventure sector have stepped up to a 21-inch. However, Honda decided, you know what, let's give the 19-inch a try, and I think it handles great. There's obviously a lot of reasons why they have gone this way. On your street bikes, you get a 17-inch. It's very common to have 17-inch. However, this is a dual purpose bike, so you're going to be doing a bit of off-road and highway riding, paved road riding. So they've gone up to the 19-inch, offers more contact surface area, obviously gives the bike a bit more ground clearance. However, if you want to go do some off-road riding, it does give you the confidence and handling that you need in order to be on the gravel roads and off-road trails. So that's the reason why they have gone with the 19-inch. The 21-inch obviously will be better suited for purely off-road bikes, but this is a dual purpose bike, so they've tried to find that balance between what works for higher speeds on the paved roads as well as what works on the gravel roads when you need to go off-road, what can grip sufficiently, what can turn easily, and they've gone with the 19-inch. This is tubeless, which is great. You don't want to be on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere in the mountains and be stuck with a puncture in a tube. So great that they've gone with the tubeless setup over there. Bike has sufficient ground clearance. You've got 250 millimeters of ground clearance there, more than enough once the front wheel and the rear wheel does hit the bumpy terrain or the rocks that you want to climb. It should give the bike enough clearance from hitting the sump or the engine and doing mechanical damage. It does come with a bash plate there at the bottom, you can see, which protects the engine and everything else. So overall, I think a great design, a great bike. I am going to be riding it and showing you what it's like in between traffic, riding at night. There's some amazing features at night that I'm going to touch on as well, that just improves the overall rider safety. And speaking about night, I want to talk about this front design. It looks angry, don't you think? It's got this aggressive, angry eye look, and I just love it because it's wide, bulky, and just needs to look good as well. So I like the design they've gone with. We've got twin LED lights in front. They shine great. It gives you more than enough light to see what's ahead of you. It spreads wide to the sides, and it's got some great features that assist with even more light. And I'm sure it's called cornering lights, and I'll explain a bit more about that later. Got the daytime running lights as well. These stay on, and these work based on ambient light in your surroundings. So the darker it gets, the brighter they get as well, and that obviously improves your visibility at night for other road users as well, for your safety. But overall, like I say, a great exciting bike, really fun to ride, very capable, and I am going to show you that shortly. Let's take this beauty for a ride and see what it is all about. What's going on, everyone? So today I'm on the Africa Twin, and this part of the video is all to do with my riding experience, what it's like to ride, what my thoughts are about the bike, various functions while I'm riding, all those sort of things. So I'm going to touch on what it's like to ride in twisty roads like I'm currently on. I'm going to do some night riding, some gravel off-road sections as well, and at the end I'll do a bit of a conclusion. So let's start with the power plant of this bike. since I can't tell you much about the looks from where I'm sitting, but I can definitely tell you about what I'm feeling. So the bike is powered by a 1084cc parallel twin. It's loads of fun, let me tell you that. So it's got lots of low end torque, it's got smooth power delivery. It's extremely smooth. You would actually expect the bike to be, you would expect it to have quite a bit of vibration, if I can put it that way, because it's an off-road bike. But I swear it's really smooth, the way it delivers power, the way it feels on the road. And I feel like the parallel twin makes perfect sense for the type of bike that this is. It's an adventure bike, well, dual purpose. And when you off-road, when you're on gravel, you don't want to have to go look for power high up in the revs. You know, you're not doing crazy speeds on the gravel technical sections. So if you want to get going, it's important to have low down torque and smooth power delivery. You also don't want it to be vicious and brake traction and be all over the place. So I'm going to demonstrate to you now how nice and smooth the power delivery is. Just wait for a nice section to overtake. It's really crazy how nice this bike accelerates. As you can see, get on the power, drop a gear, and off you go, with a massive smile on your face at the same time. So paired with the engine, we've got a DCT gearbox, which is totally new to me. It's my first time riding a bike, well, an automatic bike with a dual clutch transmission, and it's insane how easy and seamless this gearbox is. So for those who prefer having full control, you do have the choice of a manual option. But for those of you who like to maybe sit back and relax every now and then, not be in complete control, you do have the choice of an automatic and manual gearbox in the form of DCT. And what I love about it is that I don't use the automatic function too many times. However, when I do want it, it's there. So I make use of the DCT. I switch over to manual mode, I override the automatic, and you can then decide when you wanted to drop a gear, when you wanted to change up. For example, here, see, I'm pressing the button and I can take this lovely apex so smoothly and so easily. Hello cyclists, all types of two wheels on the road today, and off I go. Insane how easy it is to ride for a bike that seems so high off the ground and that seems so bulky. Now I use the word seems because it really isn't as heavy as it looks, or as tall as it looks. You know, on this on this 2024 Adventure Sports ES model, they've reduced the travel in the shock by 20 millimeters, so it's easier to control on gravel surfaces on the road, but also for your feet to touch the ground. It's really a lot easier than it seems. I can put both my feet on the floor, and I'm not the tallest of people, but this is obviously something that you will need to go check for yourself at the dealership or wherever you can have access to one. Hey everyone, so I'm currently on the Africa Twin, and I just want to give you guys an idea on what it's like to lane split through traffic on this bike. So I'm on a 2-lane highway and it's bumper to bumper traffic, so it can be a bit tricky to navigate between all the traffic, especially on a bike that looks visually wide. However, it's really not that difficult. The bike is quite nimble for its size and what it looks like, and it's fairly easy to lane split. You can navigate through traffic with confidence. You won't have a problem. Look at this, some cars are a bit closer to me as well. Brakes are good, And the nice thing is people can hear the bike. It's got a very deep sound and it's quite loud, so people notice you as you come along, which is a nice thing. We've got bright lights in front, so all these features that make you feel safe on the road and confident. So if you're wondering what it's like to, sorry, let me just make this gap. If you are wondering what it's like to navigate through traffic, it's very possible, very easy, and such an easy bike to ride. There's also extra controls such as hazards. You can put on bright lights, you know, everything to make it look a bit easier. Brakes are excellent on this bike. There's ABS, so you won't lock up. Lots and lots of features to make you feel safe. So yeah, this is me just giving you an idea, show you it's very easy and very possible to go through morning traffic. So if you're riding in a built up area like I am now, you obviously don't need all the power of the bike, you know. Also, everyone's got different riding styles. You might be a bit nervous to use all the power available on the bike, and that's not a problem. You know, you don't have to figure out how much to turn the throttle or anything like that. All you do is you look over here. The switch pad looks complicated, I swear it's not. I love this. I can literally point to it and the bike will just change gears. I don't need to go clutch or anything. And you see I'm currently in tour mode and I'm utilizing all the power. So one bar over there, it might look like it's the least power, but in terms of this system, that is all the power. And if I want to switch modes, all I do is I simply press the up arrow and you see I've gone to urban mode. It's decreased the power and changed a few settings. And if I go to gravel mode, that then puts it on the least amount of power, because you don't need to use all the power. We don't need to fly on the gravel. You know, we're not doing Dakar rally or anything. I can get on the power now. It's not as aggressive, and at the same time it adjusts the suspension. We've got preload settings that can be adjusted, suspension damping. All those play a very vital role in the type of bike that this is. So very advanced system over here. The technology is crazy. It does all that at the press of a button, which I think is insane and very convenient. But okay, we are not on gravel, so let's go back to, you've also got user modes. You can adjust it according to how you want it, but I like tour mode. It's got all the power and I can customize tour mode itself for my traction settings, wheelie control, all of those things at the same time. I just want to show you guys how nice this bike corners while I'm at it. We'll add some fun in between all of the talking. It literally just corners with ease. Every now and then you might rely on cruise control just to sit back and relax a bit. So all I do is I simply hit this button, the light goes on, and next to the cruise control, all I do is I hit this down to set it. It's set. And if I want to increase the speed, I can toggle the switch over here, hit it up or down. But there we go, I'm accelerating. It's keeping the speed I'm doing. No hands, look mom, no hands. But yeah, we've got some amazing features here. I've got a whole list to run through, especially when it comes to the 5.5 inch TFT screen. I'm gonna have to do a whole separate video on that. But it shows you everything you need to know, from your modes to your temperatures, to your engine braking settings, your power, ABS, everything, your suspension settings, if it's soft or hard. And like I did mention, you can toggle through different settings in order to adjust how you want the suspension to be. If you want it softer, if you want it harder, it's electronic, you can go up and down. So it's truly amazing what Honda has given us over here. And then if you want to cancel the cruise control, you just simply hit the button again and it cancels. So a very easy system to use, easy one to understand, and all the controls are within your reach. such an amazing sound that comes from this exhaust. It's one of the exhaust systems, and I always say it, like, the first thing you want to do when you get a bike is change the exhaust, make it a bit louder. But this exhaust sounds so good in standard form, I really don't feel it's necessary to change it. It's really got such a great sound. So for my off-road section, I've asked some employees from Honda to join me and take me on an adventure. So I've got an Africa Twin joining me today, and the Honda NX500, which is a middleweight dual purpose bike as well, just smaller, half the size of the Africa Twin. And I'm joining these gentlemen today. It's gonna be great. Oh, the red Africa Twin looks so beautiful. But yeah, let's go and see where the road takes us. So this is where we've ended up, guys. Got some cows in the background, just taking some photos. Look how easy this bike is to move for its size. Okay, you didn't see, but I literally just moved it with my feet. I reversed it, and that is the NX500 as well. If you aren't ready to go for something this big and that powerful, this one is just as capable. Isn't it right, Michael?
Yeah.
I saw you were pushing it nicely in the bends, and the power delivery, it keeps up nicely.
It's really smooth, I can say it like that. It's not too intimidating, not also lighter than the Africa Twin, so...
That's exactly what I was saying. So if you do want to just commute a bit and not go totally big, that is another option for you. But back to the Africa Twin, which is where we were at today. We're going to hit some more gravel roads and then see what it's like. Okay, so we've officially arrived on some gravel roads, and now what you want to do is hit this button over here, switch it to gravel mode so that the suspension can adjust to the conditions. I can already feel the bike is softening up. It adjusts the damping, the preload, and as you can see, the suspension has gone from hard to soft. Soft in front, soft at the back, all with the push of a button. Traction control is set to low, so if you want to have some fun, you are definitely able to. Bike just wants to step out. And it's crazy how smart the ECU adapts everything, because it's adjusted the power down to a lower level. So one would think that you need all the power for the bike to step out and have some fun, but even on its lowest even on its lowest power map, you can see the bike still has more than enough power to have fun. So for gravel roads like this, if you have gravel roads on your route, or you want to adventure a bit, no problem for the Africa Twin at all. Look how the suspension is just absorbing all the bumps. It's really got good suspension damping. You can just see how fast it bounces back every time it hits the bumps on the gravel road. So it's really capable, really enjoyable, and really easy to ride when it does come to gravel sections. If you were wondering, and I'm a complete beginner, you can see I wasn't crawling. I could confidently ride the bike on that section, and now I would be in complete control. So some things to consider when riding off-road. I've already shown you guys it's very capable. The suspension handles all the bumps well. We've got a dual disc system in front, so you don't need to jump on the brakes to stop. It's got more than enough stopping power. So here, under braking, not sudden braking, but braking hard enough to slow me down, the front doesn't dip. It does its job. The bike does stop and slow down, and the traction control works. Like I said, it obviously engages it so that the bike doesn't spin up too much. But the electronic suspension does adapt to the conditions. So I'm going to quickly show you guys the Africa Twin and NX500 come past. You'll see here, if you watch the front view of the Africa Twin, you'll see how smooth that bike looks. The wheels bouncing up and down, suspension's doing its work beautifully. Same with the NX500. You can see the rider sitting so comfortably, not bouncing all over the place because the bike and the suspension is doing all the work. So easy to make a U-turn, and like I have explained, if you do want to have some fun, the option is there. You can open the power modes up, get on the power, and off you go. Such a crazy feeling. Oh, I can't explain, guys. It's a monster when you put it in the right environment. And this is where the bike performs its best, off-road. It's a dual purpose adventure bike, and if you want to have fun on the road, you do have that option. For those of you who like to stand, you can easily stand, get a higher view, look around, and it's easy to control. Bike's moving around in my hands, and I can easily put it exactly where I want to go, which is absolutely great. Now I see why the people stand all the time. You see so much more. You can literally see over this hedge and see the world from where I am. Okay, so if you are buying a bike like this, chances are you will be riding at night at certain times, and you might be wanting to know what it's like to ride a bike like this at night. So it comes with a variety of features that make the riding experience at night a lot better, and I'll show you what it's like. So number one is that it's got twin headlights in front, twin LED lights, and it's very bright. You know, it's got a very crispy, it's got a very far reach. I can see the light is widespread. It's clear enough for me to see this particular road that I've chosen to drive doesn't have street lights, but I can see exactly what's happening in front of me. If I want to put the high beams on, look at that, extremely clear. So I've got a very good light setup. It'll be easy for people to see you and easy for you to see what's going on if you are to ride at night. Another great feature, you might have seen it just now when I took the turn, is that it's got cornering lamps. Now this is an amazing feature. I was mind blown when I figured it out the first time. As I lean, look at that, the lights get brighter. It works based on lean angle, and how that helps you is that you're able to see in the direction that you go in. You'll be able to see if the road, look at this, I can see exactly where the road ends and where it cuts off, because the lights get brighter as I'm turning based on lean angle. So it's a really brilliant feature, because it doesn't make the lights over bright as you are riding in a straight line. You can see as much as you need to, and then as you turn, look at this, absolutely amazing technology. Just gets brighter and brighter as I turn. These cornering lights will be extremely helpful on the road in off-road conditions where it may not be well lit, and it's just a great feature to have in general. Very useful, very beneficial. So well done to Honda with that piece of technology. We've also got daytime running lights in front, also useful to be seen in terms of safety and functionality. You know, you need to be seen in traffic, and the daytime running lights work on ambient light. So the darker it gets, the brighter the daytime running lights will get, and that makes it a lot easier for traffic to see you and for the bike to be noticed, which is a great safety aspect. So in terms of riding this bike at night, it's an absolute pleasure. Everything that you need to make it easy and make it an enjoyable experience is here, from the lights and being visible on the road to being able to see as well and know exactly where you're going. So well done to Honda for giving us a proper bike to ride, one that we can rely on in dark conditions and just enjoy. So guys, that is my video on the Honda Africa Twin 2024 Adventure Sports ES, and this was just my experience regarding the bike, what it's like to ride, the places I could take it to, beautiful roads like this, be confident with it, enjoy the beautiful views like this to my left. And overall I think it is a fantastic bike. Really, Honda went above and beyond to put as much technology as they could to make it convenient for the rider. There's features on here that I never thought I would ever need or use. I never ever thought I would need or enjoy an automatic bike. It was never a thought, except when it comes to a scooter. But to feel the seamless shifting, quick shifting, and the benefits of the automatic box when you need it, to have it there as an option is great. And then also have the option of overriding it and having a manual mode to change where you want to is really taking it to the next level when it comes to an overall package of enjoying a bike. Like I said, it's something that you never knew you would need, and Honda just showed us exactly why we do need it. So like I said, it is a great bike. You can find out pricing on the Honda websites, your dealer closest to you. I know on the South African market at the moment, this DCT model I think is priced from $292. I could be mistaken. I am going to throw a screenshot up from the website. And with that deal you get free rider trading from Honda, so you can go into the mountains and feel like you are competing in the World Rally Championships. But in conclusion, a fantastic bike. Well done to Honda. Super enjoyable, great value for money, and the ability to take you to see the world comfortably and confidently. Well done, Honda.